Both Democrats competing for delegates in next week's New York primary are touting their New York roots. Hillary Clinton was a U.S. Senator, of course, representing the state for 8 years. Bernie Sanders was born in Brooklyn. Meantime, Clinton is trying to lock up another key constituency in that state, the black vote. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry tells us how from New York.
The Honorable Hillary Rodham Clinton.
For the second time in recent weeks, Hillary Clinton today embraced the controversial Reverend Al Sharpton, who has not endorsed anyone, as she tried to make sure the big edge she has over Bernie Sanders with African Americans continues by suggesting the Democratic Socialist has taken their votes for granted.
We can't just show up at election time and say the right things and think that's enough. We can't start building relationships a few weeks before a vote.
Of course, Clinton raised eyebrows in a racially tinged comedy skit at a New York press dinner last weekend. Nonetheless, a new Quinnipiac poll here in New York shows Clinton still has a strong 37-point lead over Sanders among African-American voters. Sanders, who had breakfast with Sharpton the day after his New Hampshire win, will address the National Action Network Thursday, just hours before his final debate with Clinton in Brooklyn.
I believe we're going to win here in New York City. And we're going to win here in New York State.
Sanders was boosted today by his first endorsement from a Democratic senator, Jeff Merkley of Oregon. Without using Clinton's name, Merkley suggested she's out of touch in a New York Times op-ed, declaring, quote, "We need urgency. We need big ideas. We need to rethink the status quo." But Clinton may get a bigger bump from a front-page endorsement today by the New York Daily News, which has been blasting Sanders for days over his failure to answer basic questions at a recent editorial board meeting, from his plan to break up the big banks to the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. The newspaper's endorsement of Clinton hammered Sanders, quote, "Subjected to meaningful scrutiny for the first time, the senator from Vermont proved utterly unprepared for the Oval Office." Now, Sanders today did get the endorsement of the 42,000-member transport union. Important because a lot of the other major unions in New York City have gone with Clinton. They oversee the city's buses and subway system. You see thousands of people streaming out of the subway now here near Washington Square Park. Sanders is going to have a major rally near NYU. This is obviously his base. College students, he's going to need their help to erase what is now a double-digit deficit here against Clinton, Brett.
Ed Henry live in New York. Ed, thanks.